Hi, my name is Priya Penner, and this is my co-host Ruth Mott, and we are Yo Media Group. Today we have Jensen Caraballo, who is, Jensen, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Jensen Caraballo, and I work at the Center for Disability Rights. I'm also a member of the National ADAPT, and I'm also on the Yo Media Group.
To start off the show, it's great to have you. Thanks for coming. So you said you were a member of National ADAPT. Can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, so National ADAPT is a grassroots advocacy group, and it's made up of people with disabilities advocating for the right to live in the community, the right to access to employment, and a bunch of other things. So National ADAPT has several chapters all over the U.S., and we live in Rochester, so there's a Rochester ADAPT chapter. And we're going to Utah in a couple days, well, tomorrow.
And what are you and I going to be doing in Utah?
We are going to be protesting. We're going to be engaging in civil disobedience. So that means I get to get arrested.
And how many times have you gotten arrested?
I've been arrested, I want to say 6 times.
Wow.
Yeah, I stopped counting after the second time.
So we're going to, you said, protest at Utah. What specific issues are we going to fight for?
So one of the biggest issues that we're working on now is to get everyone understanding that people with disabilities are being forced into nursing homes, which is very much a violation of civil rights. There's no other group being forced into nursing homes. Why do people with disabilities have to live in these homes? It's just not fair to us. So we are starting a national campaign and going from state to state to spread the word about the Disability Integration Act.
And what is the Disability Integration Act?
So the Disability Integration Act would be added as a new title to the Americans with Disabilities Act. And basically it says that it's a violation of rights when you're forcing people with disabilities into nursing homes. So states have to figure out a way to get people with disabilities out of nursing homes. And they can't use excuses like there's no accessible housing, there's no services, because it's very much a violation. So,
with the DIA, you mentioned housing and community-based services. Is that part of the Disability Integration Act? Is that?
Well, the Disability Integration Act, from what I understand it to be, it's not tied to any services or anything like that. It's tied to people, because that's what matters.
Absolutely.
People matter. So, and then the other parts, the services and accessible housing, comes in after. That has to be figured out however the state needs to do. They need to figure out a way to get people with disabilities out of nursing homes.
So do you have any particular stories you want to share with us from an ADAPT action?
Yeah, well, last time we were on an ADAPT action, I think we were in D.C., Washington, D.C., and we were fighting for the Community Integration Act, which is now known as the Disability Integration Act. We had to get the name changed because of legal reasons, but so we were fighting for that, and a bunch of us got arrested at the White House counting one of my best friends who currently lives in a nursing home.
Tell us about him.
So his name is Flip, and I met him there when, in 2006, I had been living at MCH for a year, and then he came in, and we became really close friends. Um, so I was forced into this nursing home a long time ago. I fought my way out, and now he's trying to do the same. He's still in the nursing home.
How long did it take you to fight your way out?
Well, okay, so I ended up at MCH when I was 15 years old. And when I turned 18, I started the process. I kept getting denied for services. I couldn't find an affordable house that I could live in, one that's accessible. I was just having a bunch of obstacles. So, long story short, I didn't end up getting out until I was 21.
Wow.
So I spent my 21st birthday living in a nursing home. I actually went to a bar and got pretty drunk. I came home and got in trouble for that. So some of the things that you face when living in a nursing home.
Can you tell us more about some things you would face while living in an institution?
There are many things. There are many policies and regulations that you have to follow. I mean, it's a hospital. It's a, they have to have some type of policies. So some of the things that I had to do was I had to sign myself out every time I wanted to go out into the community, just to visit family or even just to go to McDonald's. I had to sign myself out, tell someone where I was going, and there was a long process. Actually, at first, when I first moved there, they wouldn't let me go out because I was too young, basically. And I'm 15 years old. What 15-year-old, do you know has to ask permission from nurses to go somewhere?
Right.
And then there were a lot of other things. There are bedtimes. I have to be in bed by a certain time. I have to eat by a certain time. There's just a schedule that you have to follow.
And since you live in the community now, that's all gone, right?
Yeah, I do my own thing. I have a job now. I started my career. I am an advocate for disability rights. I've been arrested 6 times. I travel a lot. These are things that I just wouldn't have been able to do in a nursing home. The most I've done in a nursing home is watch TV or eat pudding.
Back to when you were in the nursing home, were you getting like benefits from Social Security and all that like you would if you had been living on your own? Or was that limited?
No, that was absolutely taken away. I lived there. I moved there when I was 15, and they stopped giving me SSI, but they gave me a monthly allowance, and that monthly allowance was $30 every month. Every month I had to use $30 for stuff that I needed. That's not very much.
No, that's not enough for anyone to live on.
Absolutely not.
And so with ADAPT, you are fighting with ADAPT and the DIA, you're fighting to get people out of institutions like the one you were with, right? Right?
Yes, absolutely. That's our main goal right now. ADAPT has been around for over 30 years. One of their first fights were to get public buses made accessible. So we got the ramps installed, and this is before I was born. But you know, back then people had a different, you know, understanding of disability. So now, you know, we're more focused on getting people with disabilities into the community.
It sounds like, with all your work with ADAPT, that you're very proud of who you are.
Yeah,
Is this true?
this is very true. I'm very proud of who I am. Before I met ADAPT, I was always told that, you know, I have a disability, so that means I'm sick. I'm broke. You know, I'm a broken human being. I need to be cured, and a bunch of negative things about disability. So it was really hard for me to feel good about myself when the whole world is telling you, you know, there's something wrong with you. Then I got involved with the disability community. I got involved with CDR. I got involved with National ADAPT, and they brought me to a whole new world. And they taught me things that I never knew existed. They taught me disability pride. They taught me to feel good about myself, and that the problem is not with me, it's with society. So, you know, that's a very big shift I've had, you know, in thinking.
And it sounds like, I mean, you were talking about how people were telling you that you were broken and needed to be cured. So this understanding of being proud of who you are was not just an overnight thing, right?
Absolutely not. I still struggle with that today. There are days where I get up and things happen and I'm like, what the fuck? Sorry. And, you know, then I have to remind myself every single day, it's okay to be me. There are so many people who are just like me, fighting for the same things that I'm fighting for. And I can't be mad at myself for being me. This is who I am, you know. So, yeah.
Well, Jensen, just as we're about to wrap up here, for some of our viewers out there who might be struggling with the same things that you struggled with, what would you say to them?
I would tell them one simple thing. The issue is not with you. You're a person with a disability. Be proud of that. Be proud of who you are. I'm proud of who I am. And I can't wipe my own ass. Just be proud of who you are. One day I know that I'm not going to be able to move a muscle. I'm not going to be able to feed myself. I'm not going to be able to drive my chair. And that's not scary to me. What scares me is to live in a world where people just can't accept that. They can't accept me for being who I am.
Well, thank you very much, Jensen, for joining us today. We were so glad to have you.
Thank you.
And that concludes today's show.